Where'd you get this ship?
Nima Outpost.
Jakku? That junkyard?
Thank you, junkyard.
Told you we should have double-checked the western reaches. Who had it? Duquesne?
I stole it from Uncle Plot. He stole it from the Irving boys who stole it from Duquesne.
Who stole it from me? Well, you tell him that Han Solo just stole back the Millennium Falcon for good.
This is a Millennium Falcon. You're Han Solo.
I used to be.
Han Solo, the rebellion general?
No, the smuggler.
Wasn't he a war hero?
This is a ship that made the Kessel Run in 14 parsecs.
12!
You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon? Should I have? It's a ship that made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs.
Hey everyone, and welcome to
Kessel Run Weekly.
My name is Danny.
I'm Heather.
And we are once again joined by Alex from SoCalCostumes. Welcome back.
Thanks.
I know it's been so long. So we wanted to invite you back to talk about you, to talk about your cosplay and everything. You've got a lot of cool stuff. You're obviously a Star Wars fan, just a little bit. Kinda, you know. So because I know you've got a lot of love for Reylo. You're in a few different clubs, things like that, as far as like the Saber Guild and everything. And so we wanted to talk to you about that. And so my first question for you is, what got you into cosplay?
It was more out of the costuming side of it. My mom is a costumer, and so I kind of grew up around that. Not cosplay culture, but around just costuming in general and the process of putting something together like that. So I started making them, and I had a few friends that were in cosplay, like deep in cosplay, and they were like, hey, you should come out and do events because you have costumes. And I was like, nah, I'm really not into that. And then I went to promote costumes, and then, you know, you realize how much fun it is.
Oh, definitely. and so what inspired you to cosplay Star Wars characters?
Oh, I have always loved Star Wars. I snuck into my parents' room when I was about 5, and Empire Strikes Back was on TV, just like one of the times they're playing it on TV randomly. And they didn't know I was there because I like snuck underneath the bed, and I'm like looking and watching, and they found me right as Vader told Luke, "No, I am your father." Oh. And it was because I was like yelling, and I was like, "No, it's not, no!" And they're like, "Oh, we're going back to bed." So I spent the next like 3 years of my life, I think, like thinking that that's the only Star Wars movie, that Vader was lying, that Luke dies, that everyone dies, like. And then they're like, "Oh, you want to go see Episode 3?" And I was like, "What?" So they took me to see Episode 3. And then we went back, "Oh, you haven't seen the rest of them? Let's watch all of them." So it's been a big part of my life. I think it's because my parents made such a big deal out of all of it. Like, it's like we're sitting down, we're watching at least one Star Wars movie.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I went and read the expanded universe through junior high. So yeah, it's always been a pretty big part of my life.
That's really cool. I like that. It's way better than my Star Wars stories. So. That is awesome, though. So, and you're part of the Saber Guild, correct?
I am, yeah.
You want to tell us a little bit about that?
I joined officially. How many months ago? I should know the exact date, and I don't. It was like soon after Celebration, so it was April around there. Mm-hmm. May, maybe. It's May. And because, you know, it takes a while. You have to submit a costume, and it has to get approved. So it's a little bit of a process. But you practice before then. Mm-hmm. And I kind of went backwards way than it's kind of set up, which is when you submit a costume, it's like, great, now go to practices. And it's like, well, no, I had been practicing for like 3 months already. So I kind of went the backwards way. And then they started putting me in shows, and been doing shows for a couple months now. And yeah, it's really cool because, I mean, the other clubs, it's a costuming club. It's a charity club where you dress up as a character and you go and do charity events. Where Saber Guild, yes, we do the same thing, but we do fight choreography. And
that's
so it's
really cool.
Go out and do lightsaber fights. And, you know, when you put your hand out, people fly backwards because they're respecting the Force.
That's amazing.
Everybody else, I think, from what I understand, we're the only Lucasfilm club that's actually allowed to swing around our lightsabers.
Cool.
All the other ones aren't allowed to do that. They're just supposed to be props, and you pose for pictures and you put them back down. But because we are trained and we have choreography and all that, we're allowed to swing around. Swing around.
Cool.
Do choreography.
That's really cool. I mean, I feel like I did that all my life already, so I may be ready already. So I can't tell you how many times I threw my brother across the room in my mind. So
Right?
little glimpse into nerdy Danny. But anyways, Heather, did you have any questions?
I want to know why Rey, because I mean it takes a lot of time to create a cosplay. So, what makes Rey special?
I mean, well, from my generation anyway, we only got one girl per trilogy. You know, we had Leia, then we had Padme, and then they gave us Ahsoka. And they gave us, and that's the thing, when we got to Clone Wars, all of a sudden there was all these females. And it was like, oh, wait, hold on, we're only used to one per trilogy. How are we supposed to do this? And I was always stuck with like, okay, Padme or Leia. And we got Ahsoka, and I was like, oh, okay, now we're adding that one. And then Rey came along, and it's like, oh, a girl who wields a lightsaber. Cool. And I mean, not that Ahsoka doesn't, but she's pre the original trilogy. Right. So it's like, well, that's the Fall of the Jedi. Like, that's different. We haven't seen a new girl from after this mark with a lightsaber. We haven't seen that. It's always been the boy. The boys always have the lightsabers, and the girl, oh, I guess here's a blaster. Like, it can still kick butt. Like, Leia totally kicked butt. Yeah. But no lightsaber. So seeing Rey with that lightsaber, it means a lot to a lot of girls. I saw her and immediately went, ooh, that's a fun costume.
Right.
I saw Full Scavenger, and I was like, I'm on board. Whatever that is, I want to make it. But enough, that's the only one of Rey's costumes that I haven't put any work into whatsoever is Full Scavenger.
There you go.
But I love the drape look. I love what they did with the double belts. They're weird and interesting, and her Resistance costume is just, you're always working on something new, especially with The Last Jedi and the new promotional pictures. We're getting more and more details on that costume. So everything's changing. We're tweaking everything. And now we have her hero costume too. So it's another one to add and is being worked on.
No, definitely. Yeah. And it's really cool with what they have been doing with their costumes. I mean, I like it's not necessarily the Jedi Padawan or whatever, but it has that feel to it, which is interesting. And I feel like maybe kind of lends a little bit to what may happen in The Last Jedi as far as, I guess, the type of training maybe that Luke may be going with, or I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that? On really why the change, I guess?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out where I think that whole thing is going. Because we have that picture of Rey standing out in front of what we assume is Luke's hovel. And I just can't get out of my head that she must be that annoying kid that keeps coming to his door. And he's like, look, I'm an old man. I just want to be left alone. And she's like, no, you're going to train me.
Right.
I really hope it's like Disney's Hercules with Phil in Hercules, and Hercules keeps coming back. And he's like, no, I don't train heroes anymore. Like, that always goes badly. And that's what I really want, is for Rey to have to prove herself to him first. And be like, no, and this is why you should train me. It's not just so I can be a hero. It's because this galaxy needs help. And you're not willing to help it. So, in that, I'm curious to see if it's more self-training on her part at first to try to prove herself. And then from there, I don't know. I don't know how that can go.
I mean, as far as combat training, she already has that. So, I mean, It's not, I mean, I would imagine lightsaber is just don't touch the lighted end. But, I mean...
Pulls an Arya Stark on us.
Exactly, right. So now you actually do some interesting Instagram videos for Rey. You obviously have a love of Rey. So you want to tell us a little bit about those?
I sat down one day and I said, I'm gonna do some Rey impressions here, and I went and found the script for The Force Awakens, and I went, okay, I'm just going to do some key lines. I'm just going to start at the beginning, because, like, you know, her lines when she meets BB-8 are some of her, like, key lines. And I started there, and then I just kept going, and 10 minutes later, I realized I had recorded every line in the entire movie. And, well, actually, that's a lie. It was like 3 hours later, because there was some I had to go back, but it was 10 minutes of
Right.
recorded stuff.
Wow.
And yeah, all of her dialogue takes up 10 minutes. And I'm like, oh, wow, she really is more of showing the emotional stuff than having to speak it, which is something really amazing about her character that I didn't realize until then. But yeah, I had recorded every single line. That includes all the yes, no's, thank you. Like, every little like everything. And I was like, you know, I'm just going to pick the ones that I think sound really good, put them in one video. So I you know, only a minute. So I put up a minute. And then there was like great response to it. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll put another one up. So I put another one up. And then 3 later, here we are.
That's cool. So were you doing them just for fun, or are you looking to get into voice recording, or?
I've always loved doing impressions, especially with my brother. We would listen to audio books on tape and try to mimic what the guy reading them or the girl reading them was doing, and watch movies and memorize lines and repeat them back to each other. I would love to do voice acting. It's just something that I've never really spent the time to get into, I guess. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I just really like impersonating people's voices.
Well, that's cool. So would we be able to trouble you for a Rey impression?
I mean, sure.
To put you on the spot?
You have to give me a line to say, because I'll spend like 10 minutes trying to think of a line.
I have not seen, I didn't know there was this much green in the entire galaxy.
Oh, and see, that's the one I think I recorded over the most times because I couldn't get her inflection correct. So hopefully I can now do it. I didn't know there was so much green in the entire galaxy. I didn't know there was this much green in the entire galaxy. See, she whispers it, and it's very, it's hard to get her exact. She always sounds like she has a cold. I didn't know that much green. I didn't know this much green existed in the entire galaxy. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Now we've been visited by Daisy Ridley. That's awesome.
Actually different. Funny enough, Rey is very posh comparative to
Really? Okay.
Daisy. Daisy's very smiley and a little high up in the nose, and Rey is almost deep in the throat. It's just a slight.
Most impressive. That's awesome. Cool. I mean,
I spent too much time watching Daisy Ridley videos, apparently.
You and a lot of other people, I'm sure. At least yours was productive, though. So there you go. That's really cool. That's really cool. So you do other costuming too, venturing out of Star Wars, you do other costuming as well. So what are some of your most popular cosplays that you do?
Well, ones that I personally built, Belle did really well. Belle, I have some coming up that I don't want to say it. It's going to Dragon Con.
That's okay.
I did Dark Rey, that's still Star Wars. Elizabeth Swan, Karina, they're both from Pirates of the Caribbean. I typically stay in Disney, just because it's comfortable, and Disney is really good about putting out a ton of promotional pictures, and especially a full length of the costume. So it makes it really easy to recreate or make an inspired look by it. Not necessarily completely accurate, but it makes it easier for sure.
Oh, that's cool.
With Disney. I do have some Marvel. I just never bring it out. I never post pictures. But there is Marvel. I'll have to post pictures of that now that I've said it.
Yeah. There you go. Well, cool. Heather, did you have any other questions?
What do you want to see in The Last Jedi?
Oh, that's a lot of things. Well, like I said, I would love to see it kind of fill Hercules esque relationship between Rey and Luke.
Mhm.
I would die to see more Knights of Ren.
I would too. I really want to see that.
I hope they don't just disappear into the abyss. That would make me really sad, and I feel like it's a waste of some really great characters, possibly.
Right.
I would like to see. I mean, of course, I would like to see some Reylo. I'm just saying, I think it's a little soon. With how they were left in the last movie. I'm just saying. I would like to see Ben Solo. I would like to see Kylo turn into Ben Solo. And I would like to see Hayden Christensen as Anakin's ghost.
Oh,
Very
definitely.
cool.
Are you on the Porg Mania train?
Porgmania train?
Are you on the Porg hype train?
Oh, I don't think I've had much time to think about it.
Well, I mean, I just mean that it feels like you see porgs everywhere now with the Last Jedi and everything. I mean, they're popping. I mean, Heather has feels for them.
Okay, they're.
I have the negative feels.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I hope that they turn evil.
Yeah, so a story that a lot of people aren't gonna see because it actually didn't get recorded. I'm super upset it didn't because it was perfect, and I doubt I'm ever gonna be able to get it again. I met Chewbacca at Disneyland, and I asked him about the porgs, and I luckily was Disney bounding as Rey, so like I could actually ask those questions, and they were gonna play off of it. And I was like, "Have you seen the porgs? The porgs, they're so cute." And he was like, evil? Nods. And I'm like, what? Where are you keeping the porgs? And there's like these boxes next to Chewie's meet and greet. And he goes over and he kicks one of the boxes. I'm like, you're keeping the porgs in the boxes? So confirmed by Chewbacca at Disneyland. The porgs are evil and he's keeping them in boxes for our safety.
Nice.
So they may actually end up being in-flight snacks. So there you go.
One thing that I think would be like too much for Star Wars, not too much for Disney, but too much for Star Wars, is I'd like them to be like Luke's kind of like, oh my gosh, the bird from Snoopy, Woodstock.
Yeah, Woodstock. Yeah.
Luke's Woodstock, and like they kind of hang around, but then they fly away, like they're done, and like Luke's like, okay, whatever, cool. But then, like, if the Knights of Ren show up, he's like, kill them, and they all, like, turn evil. I would love to see that. They suddenly grow fangs, their eyes go red. Like,
Right.
It wouldn't happen. That's not Star Wars, but, like, I'd love to see it.
That would be fun.
I can think of a few Disney movies that would have happened then, though.
And I'm pretty sure there have been. I just can't think of any right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, there was a photo that I can't remember which one. I think it was one of Chewie. It was a side view of Chewie where somebody noticed that he had a feather in his mouth, and yeah, exactly. So it's just like, what's gonna happen with these porgs?
I mean, my boyfriend, who is a 501st Kylo, loves to tell me that his cape is made out of porgs. So I think that every single troop, him coming over to me in Episode 8, Kylo, being like, it's made out of porgs. And like walking. So, it's like porgs are part of the Star Wars life now. We have to get used to it.
Yes.
That's amazing.
The cutest thing blocks, let's be real.
I think this is the best porg conversation I've ever had.
You have to talk with the right people.
There you go. Well, that's awesome. So cool. So, Alex, where can everybody find you online?
SoCalCostumes on Instagram. Follow me on there. And for my cosplay stuff and for my work in progress stuff, those will mostly be in my story. And then I now have a cosplay page on Facebook, which is also, I think it's not SoCalCostumes. It's actually SoCalCostumes Cosplay, I believe, because SoCalCostumes is my business for my costumes.
There you go.
So those had to be separated.
Yeah, cool.
Very cool.
Definitely make sure to follow her on those. She's got a lot of cool stuff, and you'll get more Rey line So not just the ones that we have on the show here. But yeah, you'll get all of her Rey lines and her Rey impersonations, which are absolutely awesome. So definitely check those out, guys. And Alex, thank you so much. This is the second episode you've joined us on. I really appreciate you coming on.
Well, thank you for having me, guys.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. It was so much fun.
So much fun.
Definitely. And hopefully around the time Last Jedi comes out, maybe we'll get to have you back on the show again, if you're down.
Oh, definitely. We need to figure out the Kylo stuff. So yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. I feel like you're going to be our resident expert on Kylo now. So.
I'll keep studying, then make sure I'm up to date and have all my facts straight.
Sounds great. Well, cool, guys. So you can check us out on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Kessel Run Weekly, and at KesselRunWeekly.com. Be sure to listen to us on iTunes, Google Play. We are now on Stitcher, so you can check us out there. And keep checking back for more updates. We have episodes coming out every single week, live episodes as well. So follow us on Facebook for those, and hopefully we'll be able to get some YouTube Live or something coming up soon. We're working on that.
We're working on it. Yeah.
So cool, guys. And so that is it for our episode for Alex at SoCalCostumes. And until next time, my name is Danny.
I'm Heather.
And I'm Alex. It's cool to be with you.